Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the class of BCAR, and we're doing resume writing. So, how are you all doing? I know there's a long gap between the last class and this one, and I'm not sure how much you guys remember what we did in the last class and how much you don't. And if you actually went back and gone through your study material or maybe the lecture that we had, the one that I had taken. So I'm not sure what has been done, but we'll start with this. If there is any problem, you can ask me now. Good morning, everyone. I see so many of you join. I'm glad to see that. I'll start with this. If there is any problem, you can ask me now. I'll repeat myself if there is any doubt or something. Otherwise, we'll start with today's session and we will be finishing resume writing today. Because from day after tomorrow, we will be doing meetings chapter, and which is why we'll finish this today. And in case you have any problem, just ask me now. I'll wait for 2 minutes in case there are more people joining. And in the meantime, if anybody wants to ask a question, they can ask a question. Is everything clear to you guys? There's no problem. Any problems? Okay, I'll wait for another 2 minutes. Okay, so Ritu, you say that this is your first class of resume. I hope you understand what resume is, and you have gone through my previous lecture. If not, then please do that. I will be repeating few things. Ankit, I hope you can hear me now. I had put my mic off for some other reason. Okay, so we will be discussing the resume once again because it was a 1 week gap. I'll just take you through the PPT once again so that it's easier to memorize and remember what we had discussed. So very quickly, a resume is just a document, which is a formal document that an employee sends it to a prospective employer, and it tells you who you are and what have you done and why they should hire you. So you have to basically put out all your information on a resume about your education qualification, about your professional experience, and what are your interests, what is your objective in life, your personal details, everything you have to put down, but in a systematically in a format, right? And we discussed that resume writing has three formats, and out of which we had discussed one, which is a chronological format, right? Okay. So the other thing is that you need to basically show and tell that why you are suitable for this job, why you possess skills that you possess, your understanding, your personality traits. Your resume should be able to be kind of your mirror, right? And person who's reading it should be able to get some information about you. And you basically need to write your resume so wisely and so carefully that it should give an impression to the employer that you are suitable for this job, right? So you need to present your resume in a manner that it allows prospective employer or trainer to evaluate it quickly. The information in your resume should basically be easy to read, something that it's easy for somebody to quickly go through it and evaluate it, what it is and what does it mean and all of that. Am I clear? Then first impression is the last impression. Somebody who is looking out for an employee or a person for a particular job doesn't know you, right? So your resume is the first thing that they will be going through. So if your resume does not create an impression, there will be no impressions. First impression is the last impression, and it depends on the content and presentation. Now, also in this competitive market, it is evident that your resume creates impression as when somebody takes out a job, trust me, the person gets about 100, 200, 500 resumes, right? And out of which a person, maybe the job opening is for like 2 or 3 positions. So imagine how somebody will be shortlisting the resumes. That also means that your resume needs to be, it needs to create an impression, and it should flatter the person who's reading. And this is why you'll get an opportunity, and whatever opportunity is there that you've applied for. But now, resume is incomplete without a cover letter. Trust me, people don't know how to write a cover letter, and that is a disaster, right? Whenever you are sending out any resume, and if there is nothing written on the email, the cover letter, or you're not attaching anything which is a cover letter about you, it's a disaster. Nobody wants to read a resume without it, right? Because before opening a resume, somebody wants an overview about you, right? Somebody wants to know who you are, right? And why you have applied for this position. Sometimes, trust me, this happens. People just copy paste the cover letter and they write the position, the job that they're applying for wrong, right? For example, the position, the vacancy is for marketing job. And in the cover letter, you write the sales or maybe the technical department or something, right? This mistake a lot of people do. So cover letter basically tells the employer how much you know about the employer, how much you are interested in this job, and how you introduce yourself to the organization. Before somebody posts your resume, you need to basically briefly introduce yourself with the employer, and then they'll go through it. You have to convey your interest in the company, a specific vacancy. Draw attention to your resume. It should be neat, well written, and concise. Am I clear? I'm going to show you one cover letter. Okay, I want you to just go through this cover letter. Dear Ma'am Sir, it gives me immense pleasure to share my resume with you for the position of PRT TGT English at your esteemed organization. Allow me to introduce you with myself. I hold a master's degree in English and have more than 3 years of experience in teaching. My strong interest of working has motivated me to apply for your organization. I have a versatile experience of working with an international school and a branch of one of the top schools of Delhi NCR. I have not only taken care of academics, but I have efficiently taken care of co-curricular activities as well, along with my definite job roles. Please find my resume for the details of my credentials. 1 second. Okay, now interestingly, let me ask you a few questions. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Regards, Prachikar, and the phone number is there. Now, I want you to basically tell me what do you understand from this cover letter? Do you find something right or something wrong? Whatever is your observation about this cover letter, please write down in your query box. I would like to see what you analyze of this cover letter. What do you think about it? Just give me a raw observation or what you're raw thinking about it. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll just repeat myself. So cover letters are of various types and it can be written in whichever format you want to write it to. It's just that it needs to be grammatically correct and it should make sense. The idea of introducing yourself means that you have to introduce your experience and your qualifications, right? Okay, and partial information somebody has written. I don't need to give my entire resume in the cover letter. This is just briefly that this is my highest degree that I hold. If I'm holding a master's degree, it is obvious I have a BA degree as well, right? Then how much experience I have, what all work I have done. So it also tells that I have not only taken care of academics in the teaching job, I've also taken care of co-curricular activities in the school, right? So it basically gives an overview of my resume, right? It also shows my interest that why I want to apply for this position, right? Now, And now, again, this cover letter is written from the perspective that there is no vacancy. I'm just looking for a job, so I'm just sending out emails, right? But it is properly written. Please find my resume attached. Now, nobody pointed out that mistake. This is the mistake that people do mostly by not proofreading the email. Please find my resume attached for the details of my credentials. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Regards, my name and phone number, right? Of course, I didn't have a designation. I'm applying for a job, so I'll just write my number at the end of it. Am I clear? Now, people send cover letters like, I'm sharing my resume with you. One line, finished. Please find my resume attached. Finished. No, it does not create a good impression, right? It sounds very rude. You have to show to somebody that I'm really happy to be sharing this resume with you because I want the job with your esteemed organization, right? I'm trying to make the other person feel important here, the organization important here. Swati, you don't need to mention your address also in cover letter. That is not necessary. And why would you share your address everywhere? Yes, you share your address on your resume, of course, but not on emails, unless it's an organization. So in the case of organization, that's the company address. So you basically write down your company name and number and address. That is when you share the address. But when it comes to personally, why would you send your personal addresses to everyone, right? And in terms of no, enclosure word we don't use. The enclosure word we use in the formal letters when we are, enclosing, sending out some more documents along with our formal letter. That is when we write enclosing, but here we don't need to mention enclosing here. Am I clear? Now, yes, how does this cover letter tell about my personality? What do you understand about my personality here? I'm assuming that this cover letter has been written by me. Just assume that. And then tell me, what do you understand about me from this cover letter? What traits do you understand about me from this cover letter? Basically, credentials is the yeah. I actually had to zoom out because I'm going through your comments also. No, how does it talk about the good teaching skills, Bhumika? I mean, yeah, teaching skills I have, that's fine, but how do you get to know it's good? And about credentials is basically a quality or achievement, or basically about your personal background, about your professional background, that it just gives you more details. I said, what do you understand about the trait, personality trait? If I have to ask you, that does this cover letter tell something about me to you? Read again and carefully. Guys, personality trait is something about my personality. Of course, this tells about the interest in the job, experience, education, everything. But it also tells about that I'm a person who's enthusiastic about the job, who also does multitasking other than just teaching, also taking care of a lot of things. So I take a lot of responsibility also. So it talks about the personality trait of multitasking, taking responsibilities, trying to be efficient in everything. So there's so many qualities that it talks about. Am I clear? Now, this is what a cover letter should do, right? Now, people actually, I'll tell you how people write the cover letters. You should always address the person. Now, in this case, I did not know who's going to read my email. Is it going to be a male or a female? So wrote down BAM/sir. But if you're sure about whom you're writing, sometimes the HR's name is written in the job description. There you can write dear sir, dear ma'am, comma. Then you have to talk about that you are sharing your resume for which position. So basically, if you are sending out the resume because you have gone through some job post, then you will mention that. Otherwise, you will just simply write something like, it gives me immense pleasure to share my resume with you for the position. This is this. And at your esteemed organization, then you introduce yourself in 2, 3, 4 lines. Just that. That's it. Don't write the entire essay on about yourself, right? And then say that please find my resume attached for the details of my credentials. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Regards, your name and number. It has to be a proper closure. People send out resumes without writing anything on the email. They just send the attachment, right? That is wrong. No matter how talented you are, nobody's going to open your resume. Sometimes people send out resumes without addressing it to anyone, right? Even if you make a mistake of sir and ma'am, people can excuse you for that because they'll just assume that maybe you don't know the person who's going to read the resume. But not addressing anyone is totally wrong. If you know the person's name, then you can say, dear Amita, right? And she's Amita Agrawal, you can say, dear Miss Agrawal, right? So if you do not know somebody's married or not married, it is always better to use Miss MS, right? Mr. is, of course, Mr. Then this is very important. These small things are very important to create an impression. Then you send out that for which position are you applying, right? Introduction. Then you talk about your resume if it is attached to the email. Then you talk about, you end on a positive note. You have already done writing formal emails. So I'm sure you know how to write an email. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Regards, so and so. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. All right. Are we clear till here? Okay. So then after that, we did about the SWOT analysis that you should know about your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. That what are your strengths basically? What makes you, strong? What is something that skill that makes you strong enough to apply for this position, or what can actually help you to achieve your goals? What are your weakness? What is something that stops you but can be overcome with some efforts? This is internal. Strengths are weakness are our internal things. What are our skills and what are our shortcomings? But opportunity and threats are from the outside. Then what are opportunities that I can basically go for, and what are threats? What all things I need to take care of mine? What all hurdles that I can face? That is threats. Now, after that, we studied about that there are three types of resumes. One is chronological, then there is functional, and then there is combination, right? Now, in case of chronological, I told you that, it works chronologically. Basically, you talk about your latest work experience first, and then you move backwards, right? It is easy to write. It is the most, I think, preferred kind of a resume format for everyone. But then there are two more other kinds of resumes, which is functional and combination. Now, what is functional? Functional resume, the second line is the functional one. Now, functional resumes are basically, they focus on the skills and strength important to the employer. It doesn't talk about the dates. It doesn't talk about names and places where you have already worked, right? It only focuses on your skills. Now, this is helpful if you do not have any work history, right? Then you can focus on your skills. But if you have a work history, if you have already worked with 2, 3 kind of organizations, then go for chronological resume or maybe a combination one, but not functional. Functional is a skill-based resume where you want to put out that what are my skills and why am I a fit for this job, right? You basically allow or you highlight your specific strengths, transferable skills that might not be obvious, and then you outline the then you it also helps in the case if there is a employment gap. So basically, if you couldn't work for like 3, 4 years and then again you're going back to the job, in that case it helps, because in that case it basically hides out where you worked and for what, how long time. It just works and emphasizes on that, how skilled you are. Now, this is disliked by many employers. It makes them think that you may be trying to hide your age, employment gaps, lack of relevant experience, lack of career progression, and underemployment. Now, at times, this actually gives an impression that maybe you're just trying to hide something. Because if you've worked with so many organizations, why would you not choose chronological resume, right? So they basically, it kinds of, at times it creates a negative it creates a negative impression. But then having said that, I feel that this is workable when you are a fresher, right? When you are applying for a job, then you can talk about your skills, that what are your strengths and your skills in your resume, because you don't have anything else to write, no work experience, no internship experience. Then in that case you can use this. Am I clear? So this is basically helpful for the new graduates, I would say, not for the people who were working, who had a gap or something. If you have an employment gap, just be open about it, right? Uh, there's no point hiding out things from anyone. If you hide out, then basically you are basically creating a lot of troubles for yourself. Am I clear? Now, how does a functional resume look like? Now, this is a functional resume, right? In this case, if you see there is a summary, right? You basically write down a summary. Wait, let me just discuss the format with you first. Now look at your study material page. So basically it gives your name, phone number, email ID, and your address and your date of birth, right? So you put your personal details, then you have a career objective. Now, at times people write down a summary, a short summary about themselves, but a career objective is good enough. You can just make it 3-4 lines also. Then comes the technical skills, the skills that are required for the job, hardworking, troubleshooting, networking, I mean, whatever. Then personal skills, what are your personal skills? Why you are a fit for this job, right? Then you talk about your education, achievements, right? And pre-professional experience. And what was your experience pre-professional? I mean, like what did you do? For example, like internship, right? So you basically talk about your internships here, and then your reference declaration that you declare that this resume is correct from your knowledge. Are we clear? Yes. Now look at this resume. Now, so this one has the a bit of a summary because it seems like this resume is of someone. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it now? Yeah. Okay. So just don't get into details. I'll just explain you what it is. If you see on the top, again, the name, personal details, address, and everything is written, right? Age, maybe you don't want to disclose. Then your summary. So now this functional resume is of someone who has already worked somewhere, like somebody who has experience. That the format that I showed you was of someone who has not worked anyone and somebody who's a fresh graduate. Now this one is there. So that person has something to write that what all you have done. So the person has basically given a summary about his work. Then there's a career experience. Now in career experience, it is not that at what position you had worked, in which organization, from which date to which date. No, it only talks about skill. Administration work, this is what I have done. Training and development, this is what I've done. Customer service, this is what I've done. Right? It is basically focusing on the skills part. Then it comes up briefly about career history, that from this date to this date, I did this in this organization and in this country, our city. Then education. Are we clear? Yes. Now, this is moving at another tangent. Are we clear? See, if you do not have a career gap, and then if you use this resume, this might work in your favor. But if they find out that you have a career gap, or if there is your age is not appropriate for this position, then this can backfire you. Am I clear? Yes. Now it doesn't seem like that this person had from 1996 to 2007. This person did not have any break in his career, in her career. But it might happen that when she applied for this position, she had a gap of 2 years or something, and that is when she wanted to use this functional resume. Are we clear? Yes. Are we clear about the functional resumes? I actually picked up a picture of that resume. This is why it is smaller in size. Okay, now look at your study material once. Wait. Is there any problem, guys? Is it clear? Oh, great. So I'll just share the now look here. So this type of resume is also ideal for fresh graduates who are new to workforce and are looking for change of career path or applying for a job with specific requirements and characteristics in mind. Now, it has a different objective altogether. So if you fit into this, use this. Otherwise, don't. Okay, now let's come to the combination resume. Now, as the name suggests, combination resume is basically the mix of chronological and functional formats. Okay, this is why it is combination. It includes sequential list of person's employment, educational history. It also includes a section that focuses on skills. This kind of resume is best suited for people who want to highlight their employment history. Now, this one basically is best suited for the people who want to highlight the employment history also, and they want to talk about their skills also. They need to basically mention about both the things. A combination resume begins with a functional format and finishes with information of employment history, which provides details of organizations one has worked for with dates. Okay, so now this resume basically, now this one has the contact information, career profile, work experience, education, and skills. Now basically you talk about everything here, right? And I'm sure most of the people actually use this only. Now, combination resume basically blends the flexibility and strength of the other two types of resumes. Issues of a strong employment record with upward mobility show how skills you have used in past apply to the job you are seeking. Now, it talks about that how skills that you have learned in your previous jobs may help you in this job. It emphasizes on transferable skills. There's a work history often on the second page. An employer may not read that far. So here, again, basically, this is quite a detailed resume. It is just too long. And the work history reaches up to the second page, and maybe the employer might not even reach there. So to show off your skills developed throughout your work history instead of specific positions, use when you're making a career change. Now, this is also has a very specific requirement because this can be only used when you're using for a career change, or you or basically if your previous employers may not be obvious to your prospective employers. Maybe you have worked with somebody that your prospective employers don't know about, so it might happen that you use it and it doesn't work out for you. Am I clear? Yes. Are we clear about both kinds of resumes? Now let's look at here. Now this is a combination format. Oh, wait. Now here, basically, you have again person details, the name, the address, the phone number, email ID. Then you have a career objective. just similarly you always have. Then you have a summary of qualifications. Somebody basically explains that what is your qualification and summarizes. Then you have education, details about yourself. Then you have overview of your skills and experience acquired through training. And then you talk about, so basically see, it is so long. You start with career objective, then you have your summary of qualifications, then you have your education, and then you talk about where are you, which are your areas of study, and then overview of skills and experience acquired through training. So you basically talk about a lot of skills. By the time you reach your employment history, it goes to the second page of your resume. And somebody might not reach there. So it totally depends on the employer and the kind of resume that they are expecting to. Then it comes to employment experience, basically the name of the organization, city, time period, and your designation. Then the skills reference declaration. So this becomes a very 2-page long, almost 2-page long resume, right? And it is very different. Now look at the way it is written. Career objective, look at, read. Tell me the difference between the career objective and the summary of qualifications. Okay. That's good, Nishit. Very good attempt. Okay, career objective is basically what is your objective, ultimate objective from your job, from your career, right? And your summary of qualification is what all you have achieved till now, and what are skills and maybe experience that you are qualified to do, right? Maybe because of your education and maybe because of your experience, what all things can you handle on your own? Are we clear? Yes. Any problem so far? Okay. Now, I have a question for you all. Look at the question number one. I'm going to just share it with you. You have to tell me how you will draft a cover letter for this, not the resume, but the cover letter. Question number one, practice exercise. I'm sharing the screen with you. You have 5 minutes for this. Tell me how will you draft this? You are Mithali or Mithanshu Joshi, a resident of Green Park, New Delhi. You have recently come across an advertisement from NDTV in the Hindustan Times for the post of a senior journalist. Draft a resume along with a cover letter in response to the advertisement. You have to draft a cover letter. You have only 5 minutes for this. Quickly. How will you draft a cover letter for this? Your call will be answered shortly. Your call will be answered shortly. Rishita, don't give me the format. You have to write the cover letter. Nishit, this is exactly what people do wrong. Dear sir, madam, we getting info about journalist post. I have a good English communication. I want to work with you. Yours sincerely, Mitali Joshi. No, nobody's going to open the resume too. Your cover letter has to be proper written in with good English. At least that does not have any grammatical error, if not anything else. Start with addressing someone and then talk about that where did you see the ad, and you're applying for which position, then talk about yourself, and then you have to end the email. I found this in Hindustan Times. Have you found a lost bag with reference to your post or with reference to your job opening post in the Hindustan Times? I'm applying for this position. I've done work with so many channels. Da, da, da. Please come to know, matlab. I have attached a resume, is okay. Mahima, somewhere the grammatical errors, the sentence structures are not right. Okay, keep writing. I'll take a 5 minutes break and I'll be coming back at 12 o'clock and then we'll be discussing this cover letter for the same question. Okay. Hmm. I wish to draft. Manisha, I can do it, but there's nothing, anything extra in the PPT from your study material. It's just your study, everything is from your study material only. Okay. So some of you are pretty close, like RP, Dimple, Manisha, Shreya, Mahima, Pramod. Correct. So you guys are pretty close to what cover letter is and how you should write it and everything, okay? But now the correct way of writing, let's discuss that. Okay, now format of cover letter. Earlier, people used to send in the resume is also handwritten. So cover letter used to be in this format. And also, cover letters are attached separately also along with the resume. When you are submitting, some jobs say that you need to come and submit your cover letter. In that case, you need to follow this, the format. But if you're sending an email, if you're writing a nicely written email along with your resume, then you don't need to send it separately. But however, people actually send it separately also with this format that I'm going to discuss with you. Sender's address, date, receiver's designation, receiver's address, somewhere like formal letter. Okay. Then there is a subject which talks about application for the post of a journalist. Now, even if you're writing an email or you're writing a handwritten letter, in a subject, you have to mention it very clearly that this is the application for the post of a journalist, application for the post of a teacher, application for the post of an accountant, application for the post of a junior advocate, whatever. So your subject line should mention it clearly that this is an application and for which post. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. So now look at this. Dear sir / madam. Again, you don't know to whom you're going to write this email and basically who's going to be reading it. So, dear sir and ma'am, this is with the reference of your advertisement in Hindustan Times, dated January 18, 2016, for the post of a journalist in your esteemed organization. I wish to apply for the same. Now, you are basically saying that I am sending you email for the purpose because you had taken out the advertisement in the Hindustan Times, and then this is the date of your post, and this is why I want to apply for this position, journalist, in your esteemed organization. Always write down prestigious organization, esteemed organization, because that makes the employer happy and it gives a good impression on the employer because you are basically giving respect to the organization. And then you say, I wish to apply for the same, right? Then in the next paragraph, you write down, I am outgoing, diligent, open to learning, and have an excellent command over English. These are your traits. After completing my MA in English, meritoriously, I worked with curry makers as a content developer and was acclaimed for my persistent hard work and dedication. So he says, after my education, now this is my highest qualification, MA in English. And after that, I worked meritoriously. Now, in this one word, he says that I have excelled and passed from this course with good grades, right? Meritoriously means the word comes from merit. Okay. Then he talks about his, within the same line, he's talking about the highest education qualification. And then talking about it, I worked with curry makers as content developers. And there I was acclaimed for persistent hard work and dedication. It talks about it. I'm a persistent hard worker and dedicated person. I enjoy taking new challenges. I've been delivering good results. My curriculum vitae or resume, other necessary documents are attached here with. I assure you of my utmost sincerity and dedication if an opportunity is given to me. Right? Then in the next line he says, I will be readily available for personal interaction anytime as per your convenience in case my candidature is considered for the aforesaid post. Right? I look forward to a positive reply. Yours sincerely, and comes the person's name. Now, this is written, a very well written cover letter, because this talks about the references given by the job you are applying for it. Then the small paragraph. See, they're about like one, two, three, and four. In these four sentences, the person talks about all his or her qualities, talks about the education, talks about the work experience, talks about the experience and how the person was perceived to be at the work. And it's such a positive cover letter. And it just states that I enjoy taking new challenges, I deliver good results. And it says that, I have attached all my necessary documents, and I am basically assuring you that I'm a sincere person, I'm a dedicated person. And then she also mentions that I will be available for personal interaction. That means you are showing so much of interest in this job that, I am ready. I can come as per your time, anytime you want. So basically, you are applying for the job. So you are not in a position to decide the time, right? It is also only dependent on the employer. Now, people do this mistake in the cover letter. Some people actually mention about it, I'm only available from this date to this date to meet. You're applying for a job. Nobody's going to meet as per your convenience, right? You have to see the employer's convenience. So this is why you see this girl is so good. She says that I am available for you, the person interaction anytime as per your convenience. In case my candidature is considered for the aforesaid post, I look forward to a positive reply. Now she says that I look forward for a positive reply. Yours sincerely, Mitali Joshi. Okay. Now ending on a good note, I look forward to a positive reply. Are we clear? Yes. Any problem so far? Now, do you understand what cover letter is and how it should be written? And trust me, this is again not for the exams. This is for your life. Every time you're looking for a job, every time you're sending out your resumes, please write a good cover letter. I feel bad when people send badly written cover letters and no cover letters at all at times with resumes. And trust me, resumes are not considered because of that. Right now, this person, this Mitali Joshi, has written the cover letter in such a way that you would like to go through her resume as well. And why not? Yes. Okay, now look at her resume. Name, father's name, contact number, date of birth, nationality, marital status. Okay, now academic qualifications. Now this is her academic qualification. Now she started from school till MA. Now there is the work experience, which is the internship that she has done. And then there are hobbies, languages known. And then there is reference skill. This is just a sample. You don't have to match it with a cover letter. But this was just a sample here. Are we clear? Yes. Any problems? Okay, if there is any problem, you can ask me now. Otherwise, I'll proceed further. Testimonials is basically if somebody has said something good about you, you basically probably can take a recommendation letter or testimonial from your previous boss, and then you can attach it. And reference is basically, professional reference. Yeah, this is with reference to your advertisement. Okay, Punjabi Asif. Now, resume ideally, a well-written resume should be of 1 page, but maximum of 2 pages, not more than that. Okay, that's it. It shouldn't exceed more than that. Nishit, you just have to attach the different attachments, cover letter and resume in the email. Okay. Now, coming back to the points to remember whenever we are writing the resume writing. Now, what all things you need to keep in mind when you're writing a resume? Now, first, let's talk about resume. Then we will talk about the points to keep in mind when you're writing a cover letter. Now, for resume, keep the format simple and readable. Your format should always be not complicated. It has to be readable. Use correct font sizes, font styles, so that your resume is readable. Nothing is missed out, and it should not look cluttered. Also, right? Keep it very simple. Keep it short and crisp again. Do not write essays about your experience. You have to know how to write it short in a crisp way. Go online, look for options, look for samples, and then make your resume. Nobody knows resume in one go. People actually go online. You have so many samples available. See how you can modify your language and how you can write it in a good, impressive way. Clearly state your objective. Your objective should be clear what you want to do in life. You should not look like a confused person to the employer. Your resume should say that you are clear in your mind what you want and how you want it. Clearly state your objective too. Your objective should always be clear. Avoid exaggeration or false details. Do not exaggerate or do not give any false details. Do not go on and on and on just doing the self praises in your resume. You should not write down the false details as well. Like I told you last time also, somebody just asked me what is reference, right? Now, reference is asked basically sometimes, at a senior position especially, people actually call back to the previous organization and ask about how you were at job and how you are as a person. So if you have written something false, like for example, you have not worked in a company, but you have mentioned the name of the company in your resume, and when somebody calls there and finds out that you've never worked in that organization, it's such a bad impression, right? So write something which is logical and something that can be proved right? Organize information logically. Your information should always be logically written. Nothing should be cluttery. One time you're writing about your education, one time you're talking about your personal things. No, it has to be logically in a manner. It should give an impression. Now, for example, if you are writing your education qualification from high to low, then when it comes to professional experience also, you have to write from your latest to your previous forms. Am I clear? The format, the logic, and the sequence should be the same. Tone should be neutral. Watch your tone. Tone really matters. How you write in your resume about yourself, right? Trust me, we discuss this in every writing skill. I'm sure you discussed with the other teachers also. Your writing skill tells about your tone. You're arrogant, you're polite, you're sweet, you're humble. Everything is mentioned, and everybody can make out with how you write. No grammatical error. Needless to say, nothing that goes out in the market, nothing that is sent to others should have any error, right? There should be no grammatical error. Highlight your achievement. You should always highlight your achievements so that it is not missed. Something that can prove out to be positive and it can help you to get a job. Please highlight your achievements. Don't leave it like that, right? And you should know what to highlight and what not to highlight. Do not mention expected salary. Unless it is asked, unless it is mentioned, do not mention expected salary here. All right. Am I clear? Now, further, cover letter. Yes, Manisha, you can. Now, what all is written for cover letter? Now, in cover letter, it is very important to use the correct format. Do not repeat information. Please never, never, never repeat information. You should always use the correct format to keep it short, to the point. The cover letter has to be short and point. Again, we're not writing essay about yourself here. Nobody wants to read big, big paragraphs. Mention what post or course you're applying for. You should always apply or mention the post. I've already told you in your subject line, also in your opening of your email or your cover letter also. Explain why you're interested in the job. Now you have to explain that why you're interested in the job and the company, both, right? Now that position, many people are, offering. So you know about the position that you're applying for, but you also have to make sure that you tell the employer that I'm interested in your company too. I'm interested in your organization. I want to work with you, right? Draw attention to your suitability for the post. Now you have to basically try to show that you are suitable for the post in your cover letter. This is why somebody is going to open your resume and read, right? Mention few lines and, just in the same way that Mitali Ghosh has written, she's enthusiastic about it. She says that, I am somebody who takes up challenges and like to do it. I perform very well. I'm a dedicated person. I'm sincere. So you have to basically, whatever your job requires, whatever person traits or skills that job requires, you have to highlight that, right? Lay a groundwork for further contact. Now, you have to basically lay a groundwork means you have to lay a foundation so that there can be a future contact as well, right? I'm looking forward to hear from you soon. I'm looking forward to hear a positive reply, all of that. Yes. Okay. Are we clear? Are we clear about the resume writing? Okay, any doubts that anybody has so far? Any question? Okay, Bhumik, I'll do that. Promote, it may or it may not be mentioned. So that you have to decide on your own. Now, it is easy. If you're a fresher, then choose a functional one. Otherwise, use combination or the chronological. Darshan, please ask, what are your doubts? Manisha, I don't get your question. What does that mean? Surya, it is not important to draw the table when it comes to professional experience or academic qualification, but it just makes it easy to understand. It doesn't make it clutter, like especially in case of education qualification, because the headings are the same, right? The course you have done, which year passing, which university, which college, and what were your marks. So you can just draw a table. It makes it easier for somebody to read. For professional, you need not make a table because you won't be able to write in the tabular format. For education, it is recommended to do it because education, basically the headings and details are similar, so you can basically make it simpler with, and of course tabular forms are easy to read also usually. So yes. Shreya, I'll just explain you once again, don't worry. Manisha, I don't understand, if you're practicing resume, how your answer can be different from the book. I mean, the format has to be the same. Answer can be different, of course. The format has to be correct. Skills and qualification are two different things, of course. As the resumes, of course, there. Testimonials is discretionary. If you have it, people mention it. If they don't have it, they can't mention it. But that's not important or necessary to attach testimonials. And I don't even think anybody asks for it specifically. but it is always good to do it. I mean, if you have it, then why not? Ankit, please keep posting it again and again. Stop it. In journalism, you need to have good writing skills too. Yeah, good attempt, Ankit. Very good attempt. I know you have taken the help from the book, but that's okay. I mean, that shows your effort at least. Anything else? Any other question? I see some of you have some questions. I think I've answered most of them. I'll explain your chronological resume once again. Anything else that you would like me to explain you? Ankit, most beneficial resume is the chronological one because it is short and crisp. Yes. It also focuses on where you have worked and for what time period, at which position, and it talks about your latest things in life, what you have learned so far. Functional is only beneficial if you are a new graduate, okay? And maybe if you are actually are so confident about your skills and the things that you have learned, maybe you can use functional training, functional resume, right? Uh, Combination also works, but it totally depends on the requirement of the employer. People don't like to read big resumes, long resumes. That's time consuming for them. Imagine a person who's sitting for hiring has to go through 200 resumes. And if you have a story going on and on and on about yourself, who wants to read about it, right? Everybody wants to know about the short and crisp. It totally depends on your industry, about the employer. But for me, I think chronological works the best. Answer, if the no format is asked in the exam, then you can use whichever format you want. It's totally up to you. But from exams point of view, please go through all the three types of formats. Do not miss out onto anything. You should know about everything. Use what you think is beneficial for you, but at least you should know about everything. What kind of questions? So you might have a question where you have to write cover letter as well as the resume, both. Good, Surya. It's a good attempt to the resume, cover letter. Yes, cover letter is always written before, or I mean, it's not on the same page, of course, you've attached a different page. Okay, so chronological once again. So now this is chronological. Now in chronological, as the meaning of the word to be in sequence, right? You have your personal details first, right? Then you have objective, what you want to do in your life. Then you have a summary about if you think you have your experience is too long enough, like for 12, 13, 14 years, and you can explain it in 2, 3 lines at what all you have done, do it. Otherwise, leave it. Okay, that's not necessary. If you're a fresher, if you're just a 2-year old in the industry, you will not have anything to write here, right? Then comes the experience. So basically, you start from the latest one. From 2004 to present, I've been working as a chartered accountant in audit and taxation department, XYZ Associates, Bandra, Mumbai. And there, what is my work profile? What all do I do? Okay, dealing with different clients, managing the financial system, performing periodic financial audits, preparation of reply, preparation of sales tax, conducting regular meetings, provide expert financial advice, and so on. Then you talk about what did you do before that. So you were from 2001 to 4, you were interqualified chartered accountant, and you worked as a direct taxation department in so and so chartered accountant associates, and the address where you have worked. It just mentioning a city helps. It gives an impression that you are ready to move for a job. Like for example, uh, from Delhi to Bombay. Now, Bombay to maybe you want to apply in Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, wherever you want to. So it just gives you that you're flexible up for moving, okay? And you are not rigid about it. I cannot move the cities. Am I clear? Now, next comes the this thing, education. Now, if this person had only worked at 2 organizations, just 2 details, and then it talks about the education. CA Final, CA PCE, CA CPT, and then you have so on, like starting from latest to moving backwards, and everything is mentioned here. Then there are skills. It is always good to mention your skills towards the end, like you have knowledge about computer, you have knowledge about whatever things that is required for your job, any technical thing that is required for your job, and if you know it, then write it. Personal details, right? Now, um, all of these personal details basically helps in employer to decide about you, right? Married, not married, your date of birth, your age, everything affects declaration. Now, for example, at times what happens is that maybe you are qualified, maybe you're very intelligent, and but they need a senior person, like somebody who has age also, right? To at a certain position. So age matters. Sometimes they want younger people for such certain position. Like for example, I'll tell you, in certain teaching jobs, in certain positions, they only prefer young teachers, and for certain positions, they only want senior teachers, like senior in terms of age, right? You might have a good experience, but they need somebody who's senior to you in age for that certain position. And maybe you are a senior person, but they need somebody younger for that position, right? So age also matters, and at times in few jobs age is the bar. They don't basically they write it in the job advertisement that they don't want people above the age of 35, 40, 45, whatever. Am I clear? Are we clear about chronological resume now? It is the most easy one, and I think it is the most preferred one. If you ask me personally, I would always prefer chronological one. Yes, Shreya. If only resume is asked, then write only resume in exam. And if the cover letter has also been asked, then you write the cover letter also. Yes, it answer according to the answer according to the question. Don't start answering, and you have to see the time also. If you think that cover letter has not been asked, then don't write. Don't waste time over writing cover letter, because you will be wasting your time also, and you won't get any marks also for that. Mehek, it is out of the context question how to do EDMs. But since I think I did this chapter with you guys, so for EDMs, you need to practice reading. Okay, you cannot just sit down and learn entire list. You also need to know how to use idioms. So pick two, three idioms every day. Something that is regularly spoken, something that you can use in your daily life. I'm sure you will find so many idioms online. Just find the list and start reading and start using it. Okay, anything else when it comes to resume? Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. So now you answer that to me. Okay. Hmm. Okay, now look at the question number 7. One second, one second, one second. Let's do something else. I'm going to just pick up a question from your previous year's papers. Number 12. Okay, so okay, question number 1 of this. Okay, can you see it on your screens? Question number 12. First question. Your Radhika or Ramesh Jaswal, English teacher, draft your resume to apply for the job in the school along with a cover letter. So just mention the cover letter first. Quickly, cover letter, please. Quickly, you have only 2 minutes for the cover letter. It is quite similar with what I showed you, but yet it's going to be still different. Have you read the questions? Should I stop the screen sharing so that I can read your answers? Dimple, what is I, Dimple? I've answered this question so many times. If nothing is mentioned, then you can use any format that you want to. Surya, I've already checked yours. Okay, good, Arpi. Arpi, very good attempt. Just do not write. I've attached my resume with this. I have attached my resume for more details about my experience with this email. Please complete the sentence. Waiting for your positive reply from your side. Yours sincerely, Radhika Jaspal. Very good. Nishant. Nishit, you're applying for a teacher job. Then why would you work with ABC Limited? And how is that experience going to help you here to get that job? See, do not pick lines mindlessly. You have to pick the lines what goes with your skill, what with your job opportunity. Do not pick and just copy paste anything. Ramesh is okay. You cannot write. I hear from someone that in your school you need a English teacher. No, you cannot do that. I just either you just start with it gives me immense pleasure to send you my resume. You cannot say this. I hear that there's some vacancy for English teacher. No, you cannot. That's not formal. Okay, promote just few grammatical errors and few sentence structure errors, but more or less it's fine. It's a good attempt. Anybody else? I just see 4 responses. Okay, more coming in. Uh, uh Mr. Suchang, you cannot start with I'm outgoing and diligent. You're not outgoing. It's not a good thing for being a teacher, right? And you cannot just start with I'm outgoing diligent. Just write about what you're applying for. From where did you get to know about this job? Then talk about your education. I mean, that's how you need to start. I'm not enclosing, I'm attaching in case you're sending by email. If I'm given the opportunity, I will prove you my sincerity. Okay. All right. So that's it. The answer is suggested answer is also given in your revision test papers sheet. Um, I always say this for practice. Please go through the questions, samples given in your study material. Besides that, mock test papers and these revision test papers, they are more than enough for practice. Please do that. Practice, practice, practice. That is the only way you will succeed. And English, especially business English or English, when it comes to language, you need to practice because nobody can teach you anything in a one day. Okay, I can only tell you what is right and what is not right, but I mean, perfection takes time. So that thing will take time. Make sure you don't do any structure errors. Make sure you don't do any format errors. Go through it clearly. No grammatical error, and take care of your sentence structures. Please make sure that you know what you're writing. Your sentence structure should be clear. Don't sound confused. And this is for your real life also. When you write a resume or a cover letter, you should be very clear. The other person should know that you are clear in your head what you want to do and why you're applying for this job. Do not give an impression that you're confused. You don't know what to do. Am I clear? Yes. So make sure you're able to do that. Do not use abbreviations. Please use full words, full sentences for your thing. No punctuation error. I see so many of you have done punctuation error in this. I'm excusing because I feel that, of course, you're typing it online. But when you're writing in your papers, please make sure there's no punctuation error. You should know where to use capital letter. You should know where to use full stop, comma, question mark, exclamatory mark, everything, right? So do that. Ankit, that's what I'm saying. Practice. The more you practice, the better it will be for you. Okay, now I'm going to end my class in another 2-3 minutes. If there is anything that you want to ask me. If it is clear to you, just let me know how was today's session. Good attempt, Ankit, Dimple, Mehek. I'm honored in English. I'm honors in English, or I've done English honors. Mehek, correct yourself, please. You guys need go through the samples given in the book revision test papers and the suggested answers. You will actually learn, and then online also you find so many samples and templates. Go through them and see how to write cover letters and resumes. Mahima, it's a good attempt. Oh no, you have to write. You have to elaborate a little bit more. Thank you, Nisha. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll meet you on 2nd February now, and we'll be doing the last chapter, which is the meetings now. Again, that's a very important chapter because these are the chapters that are going to actually help you in future. So you should make sure that you listen to these chapters at least carefully. All right, everyone. So then I'll see you on Thursday now, same time, and have a good time. Please go through the lecture again. Please go through the study material. In case there's any problem, you can ask me in the next class. Right? All right. So I'm just going to off my class now. Okay. Bye bye, everyone.